Welcome, everybody, to the NFL Presidential Address. It is week 17. I am Lawrence Pressman. I don't normally wear sweatshirts when doing these shows, but I am freezing my ass off. Anyway, I'm physically freezing. I'm gambling hot as frickin' hell. And we'll get into that in a second. If you've never watched the NFL Presidential Address, here is how it goes down. I'm going to take a look at every single game on the board for Sunday. I will not be discussing the Thursday night game or the Monday night game, but I will take apart every single Sunday game. I will provide you with picks, totals, sides, whatever I'm betting or leaning on in that game. And then after that, we have Meghan Payton joining us. She's going to be providing 3 prop bets for you guys. And then at the end of the show, I will give you my show best bets. Before I get into anything, I want to point out to you guys, I got an unbelievable promo up. It is good until the end of Friday night. It is my Hoops combo package. If you buy my CBB and NBA combo package, use the promo code SAVE500. That's SAVE500. You get $500 off the entire package. That is an absolute deal. And to give you perspective, right now my basketball run is 43 wins and 18 losses. My NBA run is 10 wins and 2 losses. My college basketball run is 30 wins and 14 losses. I'm up 55 units of profit. 55 units of profit in both basketball leagues. It's been an unbelievable run in NBA and college basketball. It's been like this since the beginning of the season. Nothing has changed. I'm winning almost every single day. Take advantage of this offer. The promo code is SAVE500. That's SAVE500. You save $500 off of my CBB NBA combo package. Okay. Now that that's taken care of, let's go through our records. Last week, I won again for our clients. My client records have been amazing. I'm 104 wins and 80 losses. I'm up 24 units on the season. My show best bets have not been great. I went 0-3 last week for you guys, and my show best bets are now 22 and 25 on the season. And all my plays and leans, excluding my prop bets, are a somewhat crappy 109 to 108. With all that said, it's all about my client bets. Those are my priority. That's what I try to win at. Those are the bets I'm actually making. And I'm up amazing profit this season and last season too. So don't sleep on my NFL client bets. Okay, let's get into it, guys. Let me first start by saying that the last 2 weeks of the NFL season are tread carefully weeks. Teams that are out of it are going to be going for it on 4th downs. Teams that are in must-win mode usually don't win. And teams that stink on offense somehow are lights out on offense in the last 2 weeks. There are going to be more passes than usual on this card, as the next couple of weeks are tough. And I'm not going to make stuff up. I'm not going to give you even a lean if I don't like anything in that particular game. So tread carefully this week and next, and let's get into it. Let's start with Carolina going into Tampa Bay. +3 for Carolina. The total in this game has been bet up now. It was 39.5. It is now 40.5. And let's take this game apart. This game could literally be who makes the playoffs, who comes out of that division. And it should be one hell of a football game. I just don't know what to do here. I really believe the Bucs are the better team, but they can't seem to get out of their own way. From a stats perspective, the Panthers are almost 3 points a game better on offense and are much, much better on the ground than the Bucs. The Bucs, however, are 4th best team in passing yards, but cannot seem to turn that into points. Defensively, the Bucs are a top 10 team in the league in points allowed, while Carolina is in the bottom half of the league. Last year, Tampa Bay was impossible to run against. This year, not so much. They're only in the middle of the pack and stopping the run. And although the Panthers are worse, it's not like the Bucs are going to be running the ball much. And we know Carolina is going to run the ball a ton. Tampa has the 4th best pass defense in the league. The Panthers are bottom half of the league in their pass D, and I think that could come into play in this game. Here is my take on this game. I think we have to bet the Bucks here. Although Brady is not playing great, he's overthrowing, underthrowing. He's totally out of sync. He's throwing interceptions. He's never thrown this many interceptions in his life. The bottom line is they have more weapons on offense. They have a slightly better defense. And I have to believe we will get Brady and the Bucks' best effort this week. This is literally a must-win game for both teams. And as a result, I'll take Brady in a must-win situation over Sam Darnold. As for the total, I do lean on the under, but I prefer the side. My bets in this game, under 40.5 and Tampa Bay minus the 3. Now we look at Cleveland at +2 going into Washington. The total here is 40.5. The only way I can bet this game is to take the under. I have no opinion on the side, and we still don't know who will be the QB for Washington. The Browns in their last 3 games have scored a whooping. Are you ready for this? 10 points, 13 points, and 10 points. And yes, that's with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. They have, however, improved a great deal on defense of late. As for the Commanders, they have gone under the total 5 of their last 7 games, and they're playing a very, very conservative style of offense. I'm not going to go on and on here, but as this is a crucial game for Washington, I believe they play this game very tight with lots of running and many short passes. I think we see both teams go on long, time-consuming drives, and I think most of these drives are going to end in field goals and not touchdowns. Also, it'll be damn cold. The ball will be hard. The field will be unforgiving, and there will be wind. There's no other way to look at this game. Take under the total in Cleveland and Washington. Next, we turn our attention to Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Pittsburgh is +2.5 now. They were 3 last night, and the line in this game is a very low 35. Although I do not like betting under 35 in any game, how can you not here? Pittsburgh has gone under the total 3 of their last 4 games and are the 4th lowest scoring team in the league, under 18 points per game. Baltimore is in the middle of the pack scoring-wise, 21 points per game. But that includes games when Lamar was around, and it includes games in September and October where the weather was beautiful. In their last 4 games, Baltimore hasn't put up over 17 points. Defensively, Baltimore is number 3 in all of football in points allowed. Pittsburgh is also in the top half. Both of these teams are bottom 10 in passing yards, and that includes passing in nice weather. I know this number is low, but think about what the score should be. 17-16 gets you there. 20-13 gets you there. 21-12 gets you there. I have a hard time believing either of these teams are going to get anywhere near the number of 20. I see a 17-13 football game. We are going to take under the total of 35. Now we turn our attention to New Orleans against Philadelphia. A lot of money gets just come in on the New Orleans Saints. It was +7. It's now +6.5, which is a massive move. The total in this game is 44, and I'm going to make this super quick. Pass. I can't bet this game, guys. Arizona going into Atlanta. Arizona now +3.5. The total in this game is 42. It has been bet up. I don't know why. I'm looking to take the under in this game. Initially, I would look to bet Atlanta here as the Cards are a total shit show and their QB is a disaster. But the Falcons are not a good team. They have a one-dimensional offense and should not be giving 4 points or 3.5 points to anybody. The Cards in their last 3 games have put up a grand total of 16, 15, and 13 points, while the Falcons have scored 9, 18, 16, and 13 in their last 4 games. The Falcons have also gone under 4 times in a row and 6 of their last 7. Here is what we know. Both teams can't stretch the field. Neither team can throw the ball well, and both teams can't convert the red zone offense into touchdowns. This number feels very high to me. I had set it at around 37. I see a 16-13 type of a game, and that still gives us 10 points to spare. I like Arizona and Atlanta under 41. Now we turn our attention to Jacksonville and Houston, and while there's not much to say here, guys, I'm passing. I don't want to pass, but man, the Texans are playing really tough football right now and could have easily won their last 3 games. And Jacksonville is one of the hottest teams in the league. I can't find any bet in this game. It is a stone cold pass. Now we go into Chicago. They're playing Detroit in Detroit. The line is +6 for the Bears. The total is a big 52. Okay, what do? Well, we take the over. I know this number is crazy high at 52, but the Lions should be able to name their score, and I think the Bears can get into the 20s easily. Both of these teams are 10-5 on the year to the over. The 2 most scored teams on in all of football. Yes, Detroit, the worst defense and points allowed in the NFL. Chicago Bears, number 2. Both teams have allowed over an average of 26 points a game. The Lions have scored over 20 points 7 games in a row and over 30 points 4 of those 7, including a 40 against Jacksonville. The only question we have to ask ourselves is, can the Bears get us points? Look, they struggled to score of late. I get it. But they've also recently put up 25-plus points 4 games in a row. They are playing inside on a fast track, and I think Fields is going to go off in the running game. I can easily see a 34-24 type of a score here, and that's 6 over the number. We're going to take Chicago and Detroit over the total of 52. Now we turn our attention to Miami and New England, and now we don't. I'm passing in this game, guys. I don't even know who the quarterback for Miami is going to be. I see nothing here whatsoever. If a gun was held to my head, I would take the under, but it isn't. Let's look at Denver. Plus 12.5 going into Kansas City with a total of 45. Funny things happen the first game with a new coach, and we've seen it. We saw it with Saturday this year. I think we see Denver's offense break out. Now, I don't think they win this game or anything, but here is a team averaging an historically low 16 points per game, and I think we see them get into the 20s here. Denver did put up 24 and 28 in 2 of their last 3 games, and I think they do it again this week against the Chiefs. These 2 teams played each other 3 weeks ago, and the final score was 28-24 Kansas City. That equals 52 points. That's a whole touchdown and more over the current number. Now the Broncos are going to play loose. They're going to look to stretch the field. They have no reason not to go for it on 4th downs. They have no reason to play conservative football. No one is playing to keep their coaching job. And I think we see a free-flowing Broncos team that has the ability and will move the ball. As for Kansas City, well, we know they can score. This team is averaging 29-plus points per game. Assuming Kansas City puts up 28, and they will, can Denver get us to 17? I think they can. I know Kansas City played well last week on D, but they're still a middle-of-the-pack defense, allowing an average of 22 points per game. I just think this total is super low for a Kansas City game, and I think we see a better Bronco offense. Take Denver and Kansas City over the total. Next game up is Indianapolis +6 now against the New York Giants with a total that has been bet down to 38.5. First off, I'm so mad at myself. Everyone I knew was on Indy last week against the Chargers, and I just didn't understand it. I loved the Chargers, but there were so many smart guys that I have a ton of respect for betting the Colts. I just laid off of that game. I'm still kicking myself. With that said, I can't bet the side in this game. The Giants are playing good, and they control their own destiny. Winning, they're in. But this team doesn't score enough to be laying 6 points. Speaking of not scoring, you have to look at the under in this game. The Colts are 5-10 to the under, while the Giants are 5-8-2 to the under this year. The Colts have put up over 20 points once in their last 5 games, and 8 of their last 9 were under 20 points. The Giants hover around 20 points almost every single game. And given that this line is 6 and 39.5, or now 38, the bookmakers are telling us we should see a 21-17 type football game. With that said, I don't know how the Colts will even get close to 17 points. It's going to be a shitty field. It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. And the Giants are going to control the ball for a large portion of this football game. Indy is the second lowest scoring team in football, regardless of who their QB is. And the Giants are in the bottom half of the league in scoring as well. Passing yard wise, both teams are in the bottom 10, and that includes nice sunny days in September and October. This game is going to be a total freaking snooze fest. And I just can't see Indy putting up more than 13 points. I think we see a 20-13 type game, 20-16 at the most. I know both these are in the bottom half of the league, but does that really matter in this game? They're playing teams that can't score anyway. I love the under in this football game. Now we go into a very important game for both teams, the New York Jets and the Seattle Seahawks. The line was -2.5 last night when I wrote this up. It has now been bet down to -1.5 for the New York Jets, with a total in this game of 42.5. Now, both these teams had playoffs in sight, and now they're looking firmly over the water of a beautiful par 3 in Augusta. With that said, there's still a pathway to the playoffs for both of these teams, but they have to win out and get help. How are the Jets favored in this game? How? Can someone explain to me how the Jets are favored in this game? Look, I don't think the line is crazy off, but I mean, if there's going to be a -1.5 on board, it should be for Seattle. It looks like White will be the QB for the Jets this weekend, but I don't think that really makes them a whole lot better. Look, I'm impressed with what the Jets have done this year, and their D looks great. But the same can be said about the Hawks, who were expected to be a bottom feeder team this season. If it was +3.5, I would be releasing a 5% play on Seattle. I would be pounding Seattle. But at 1.5, I'm still going to bet them, but not massively. Anything can happen in this game, but give me the better coach, the better wide receiver core, the arguably better QB at home getting points, please. I'm not touching the total in this game, but we are betting Seattle +1.5. Now we look at San Francisco against Vegas. -10 for San Fran, 41.5 is the total. Man, last night I was writing this game up. It was San Fran -6. Now it's -10, and I'm still going to pass on this game. The Raiders, man. I mean, the Raiders can come out and win this game. They could come out and lose 40-3. There's too much inconsistency from the Raiders for me to be betting on or against them. Next, we look at Minnesota against Green Bay. Minnesota +3.5 here. Total in this game is 48. Let me start by saying this. Green Bay got lucky to get out of Miami with a W. Literally lucky. That game changed at the end of the second quarter. Miami was driving the ball, then they turned it over. Then they turned it over, and Green Bay was able to score. Had they have even got a field goal there, they would have been up by 3 scores, and I think the game would have ended differently. As for Minnesota, this is a tough team to bet on or against, as they are so damn inconsistent. When they play bad, it is horrific. When they play good, they might have the best offense in all of football. I think this game favors the Pack. It is in Lambeau. It is in cold weather. The Green Bay Packers are feeling good about themselves, and they're finally starting to move the ball. However, it's really hard to take them at -3.5. If it was -2, I would take them on the money line, but it isn't. And honestly, I can see this game coming right down to the wire. I hate the Vikings in this spot as well. I cannot take the over in this weather with an inconsistent mini team and a Green Bay team that hasn't been lights out on offense. The only way I can bet this game is to look at the under. And even that worries me. I have a soft lean on the under, but will not be betting this game. Now we turn our attention to the Rams versus the Chargers. -6.5 for the LA Chargers. A total in this game of 41. And again, alas, I'm going to have to pass. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have an opinion on that game either. That's it for the board, top to bottom. Just to let you guys all know, the promo code for this week is SAVE500. That's SAVE 500. You get $500 off of my college basketball and NBA combined season. The regular price is $999. Use the promo code SAVE500. It is active until Friday night. You'll get $500 off of that package. I am up 55 units already in both sports combined, and I'm on ridiculous runs in both as well. Meghan Payton joining us for some props. After that, I'll be back with your show best bets. Meghan, the microphone is yours.
Thank you very much, Prez. Happy week 17. Only 2 weeks left of the regular season. I have 3 player props for you this week, all in Thursday night football. We have 2 overs and 1 anytime touchdown. Let's start with quarterback Dak Prescott. I'm looking at over 235.5 passing yards for Prescott. Dak Prescott is averaging 295 passing yards the last 3 games. There has only been 3 games this season in which Dak Prescott has not hit over 235 passing yards. One of those games, by the way, was when he got hurt. The Titans defense has been terrible against quarterbacks. They're second to last in passing yards per game. And by the way, I understand that you might think this is going to be a heavy run game due to the Cowboys being such a heavy favorite. I still like 235.5 over for Dak Prescott. I'm also going to be eyeing Ezekiel Elliott anytime touchdown. Call me basic. I don't care. You're not going to find this in plus money. You're not going to find it in even money, but that's because this is such a consistent bet. Ezekiel Elliott has had a touchdown in all 8 games, the past 8 weeks. He's able to find ways in the end zone. And Tony Pollard might be your favorite running back in this group, but Ezekiel Elliott's getting more scores. Tony Pollard, by the way, dealing with a thigh injury. We're filming this on Wednesday. He might not even be playing. So I like Ezekiel Elliott to find a way in the end zone, maybe even multiple, but I like anytime touchdown for Ezekiel Elliott. My last player prop I have is wide receiver CeeDee Lamb over 5.5 receptions. CeeDee Lamb has been very consistent in his volume of targets. Dak Prescott likes throwing him the ball a lot. He's averaging just under 7 receptions the last 8 weeks. He's done really well in the slot, and I don't really see a huge reason why we wouldn't expect Dak Prescott to target him at least 7 times. I'm going to look at it more in that 8 or 9 range, so over 5.5 feels good to me. I like CeeDee Lamb over 5.5 receptions. I like Ezekiel Elliott anytime touchdown, and Dak Prescott over 235.5 passing yards. It's all Cowboys this week for Thursday Night Football against the Titans. Go cash some bets, Prez. Happy week 17.
Great stuff, Meghan. Love having you on, guys. Let's end this show with some best bets. We're going with Carolina and Tampa Bay under the total. We're going with Chicago and Detroit over the total. The under in the Tampa Bay game we're going with is 40.5. The over in the Chicago-Detroit game is 52. And we like Tampa Bay minus the 3. That's it for the show. Listen, everybody, Saturday night is New Year's Eve. Sunday is a whole new year. I want to thank you all for your loyalty and support, both at WagerTalk and from me. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch this show. I do read your comments. I do respond to a bunch. It has been a pleasure hosting this. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you all back in the new year for week 18. I'm Lawrence Presman. Namaste.